Since No Man's Sky came out today and was announced maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, I decided to go and make my own first impressions of it. So No Man's Sky, it's one of the better games I've seen so far this year. It was really hyped up ever since it was announced the VGX few years back. And like just based on how many like infinite worlds and like how big the planets are, like it's insane how big the universe is in No Man's Sky. Like apparently you cannot see another user or another player for like, I don't know, it takes a long time to go see another player or user, but regardless, I'm going to show my first impressions on this game. So, okay, so I guess I'll go up with like a positive and negatives list. I'm coming off this with the top of my head. I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but regardless, the positives of this game are just how great the graphics are at 5 gigabytes though. Like 5 gigs for graphics like this, like it makes you think that really do other games need to be really 50 or 60 gigs to install, because they take up a huge chunk of the PS4, whereas No Man's Sky barely takes up a single thing. Save files sometimes are even bigger than this, so No Man's Sky did a great job compressing this game to a point where basically you can have, like, it's really tiny. It's probably one of the smaller games I ever downloaded on the PS4. So my second positive on my list is basically naming all the animals, how fun it is naming all the animals and discovering all the planets are. Like, it's really fun just going on a brand new planet, because it's brand new animals, species, and all that kind of stuff. It's one of the funner things, just name those animals whatever the heck you want. Like, you can name it Phil Kessel if you want. Like, you can name some species Phil Kessel if you want. And then if like someone does end up coming across your town or your species or whatever, they'll say Phil Kessel, even though it would take a very long time in order for them to see it. They might even encounter it, so it's pretty cool. You can name your own species and upload it to the hub where you get some points and all that stuff. Another part about how fun it is discovering planets there is just how like different the planets are. Like one planet could look like the moon, one could look like Mars, and one could be just like an ice planet, a lava planet. Like it could be any sort of planet because it's all auto-generated right now. So basically every single planet is completely different from the last planet, which is really fun to see, because then you get to go and see all the different possibilities that No Man's Sky has to offer when it comes to auto-generating planets. The next positive on my list is just how just basically going hunting for resources is somehow fun, because usually you think in a game like, I don't know, hunting for resources would be pretty boring. Like all you have to do is go and fetch resources for yourself and make your basically stay alive kind of thing. But No Man's Sky kind of makes it a little bit more funner, because while you're going and fetching these resources, because there's tons of them around there, like you can easily find like plutonium, I don't know, aluminum, carbon, like all the stuff you actually need for your character. You can find it easily on one planet. Like sure, the first planet you can't find plutonium, but the very next planet you can find basically anything you want on that planet. But while you're finding these resources, you tend to go and find like a lot of exosuit upgrades and all that stuff, and then you eventually go and find some traders, like some alien traders, and you can go and maybe convince, like you can go and sell all your resources you found on the planet for these like kind of units. It's like a type of currency in No Man's Sky, and you can use those units and trade those units for some of the stuff the traders have to go and upgrade the rest of your stuff. Like basically, I don't know, it's kind of like Fallout, I guess you could say. Like in Fallout, you're always looking for stim packs, food, and all that stuff, but on the way there, you're having fun enjoying the gameplay, and you go and get some cool armor on the way, like you get the power suit in Fallout 3 and all that kind of stuff. So it's almost kind of like Fallout 3, but it's basically just exploring planets and all that kind of stuff. That's what it reminds me of. I don't know if it reminds you guys of that, but that's what No Man's Sky reminds me of most, is just of the Fallout universe, basically. Okay, now down to my negatives list. There's barely any negatives at all. The only thing I have a problem with this game right now is that every time I go and hunt for some resources, like say I get a lot of carbon, I don't know, aluminum, there's like no room at all for any of that stuff, which is really bothering me right now. But then I just found out that you need to go and get some more suit upgrades in order to go and get more room for your resources. So that's the only problem, and it's easily fixed by just exploring and finding out more about the game by playing it. And the other negative right now is just how boring it is in the beginning, but after you go and fix up your ship and all that stuff, it gets really over the hump of it being boring and just becomes fun in its own little way. So I guess that's my first impressions of No Man's Sky. It's a very good game right now. I don't know what the critics are saying about it right now. I looked it up this morning. There's no current reviews out for it right now by some professional critics like IGN, GameSpot, and all that, or even Metacritic. But anyway, I guess I'll start off right here. Basically, the downline right here, No Man's Sky, a great game. If you like games like, say, I don't know, Fallout, where you basically go and hunt for resources, have fun with the gameplay. Like, sure, there's no really much story to No Man's Sky except going to the center of the universe, but it's just a really fun game, and it just reminds me of Fallout. So if you like Fallout, just make sure to take a look at maybe buying this game. I don't know if you'll like it, but it's one of the funner games I've played so far this year. And no matter what anyone says, the hype is real. Like, this game, sure, people hyped it up to be like the greatest game of all time. No game is gonna be the greatest game of all time. This game is just fun. If you have kind of lowish expectations going into this game, you'll have a really good fun playing No Man's Sky. Just kind of wanted to share my impression on the game, just based on I've seen a lot of little hate on Twitter about this game, and it just doesn't deserve the hate that it's been getting. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in more No Man's Sky gameplay.